Welcome to Spotless, Sparkling, and Safe, a seminar for the non-commercial customers of Gordon Food Service, where we're going to be talking about those three important points: spotless, sparkling, and safe. We have an expert panel of folks with us today. They're going to talk about that, hopefully bringing some excellent information that'll be very helpful for you and your teams. My name is Matt Benefiel. I work for InnoServe. InnoServe is a brand new strategic alliance company formed out of Gordon Food Service that is specifically built to strengthen and support the business in your organization and other customers in the areas of beverage and chemical. Our service team and our products are built in those categories, and we've increased and amplified what's going on there with InnoServe in order to be more valuable to Gordon Food Service customers. And there's also a couple other folks who are here with me today on the panel that are here to help and to handle this discussion as we talk about spotless, sparkling, and safe.
Yes, thank you. Eric Losi, Distribution Manager for U.S. Chemical. We manufacture and private label the Array branded cleaning products for Gordon Food Service. I've been in the industry about 23 years and specializing in food service, environmental service, as well as laundry sanitation.
Hi, my name is Jim Fields. I'm with the U.S. National Team of InnoServe, and my background is in HACCP development, food safety, HACCP instruction. I've been teaching cleaning and sanitation for about 3 decades.
We also have experts from the field, individuals that are your peers and other operators and folks that are focusing on spotless, sparkling, and safe, and also seeking to be the best they can in those cleanliness categories. So we'll be listening to some of those folks later today. Most undoubtedly, your cleaning program has always been an important part of your organization. But obviously, with the pandemic, those things have been ramped up and things have been magnified. Today, there are 2 perspectives and understandings that we're going to look in that category. Best practices to assure that you are keeping people safe, and then building trust with your consumer base. As I said, we're going to cover those areas from a perspective of our panelists and then also from some experts in the field. We're going to be talking about common areas within your organization, such as your lobby, high-touch surfaces, food contact surface areas, and we'll even get into the laundry area a little bit. As well, and I think a very important part of this, is we're going to review tools and resources that come from Gordon Food Service, U.S. Chemical, and from InnoServe that are there to help. Again, we're going to have some highlighted guest speakers along the way, peers. They're going to share firsthand experiences in spotless, sparkling, and safe, and things that are going on in their operations that can help you kind of benchmark and see how are things going with these folks and how does that compare to what we're doing. We have a great lineup in store for us today. This past year has been a very challenging year, and it's been a learning experience for everyone. Operators of all types have been forced to critically review cleaning and sanitation practices. In that field, I'd like to talk with our panel here today a little bit and talk with you guys, hear from you about spaces where you see that there might be gaps in healthcare, infection prevention and control, or in education, points where cleaning and sanitation programs have been recognized.
We have reevaluated what we traditionally define as critical areas, and then of course reemphasizing the importance of hand washing and hand sanitizing. Communal areas, front desks, school offices, entryways, elevators, any and all HTPs, which are high touch point surfaces, have changed from generalized cleaning areas to very specific focus with new protocols. The realization that there is also a need for more documentation of compliance and more efficient, labor-effective methods seems to be a common lesson everyone is learning.
Certainly now that everyone has a year under our belt, we've had some time through this year with COVID-19 challenge, there is indeed an effort to fine-tune and to get even better in these categories. Let's hear from one of our customers on that subject.
Hi, I'm Karen Pell, Director of Nutrition Services with American Senior Communities. The biggest gap that we found in our cleaning procedures was efficiency. With the need to increase frequency of cleaning and sanitizing those high-touch areas, it required additional time from our staff. So in order to be more efficient, we implemented the use of electrostatic sprayers to more quickly disinfect those high-touch surfaces. We also found it was helpful to provide additional education to staff so they had a better understanding of the why behind our procedures. Oftentimes, our staff know procedures and the how-to, but didn't really understand the why behind what we were asking them to do. So providing additional education, explaining why it was important to check the dish machine temperatures, for example, really drove home the need for frequent monitoring and helped to improve compliance.
That's a great point from Karen. Efficiencies are key. And as important is getting your team involved and keeping them well trained. Jim, you highlighted entry areas, communal or front desk areas, those places being viewed differently today as critical areas to control. What can be done to make these areas safer and to reduce the risk for our customers?
Well, the most common thing we are seeing is, of course, more restricted access into the buildings. This is pretty much universal, and I think to some extent this will continue forward as a best practice. Another result of the expanded view of potentially dangerous areas is identification and frequent disinfection of high touch point surfaces. Increased training around proper hand washing also seems to be recognized by everyone. Some of the other new things we are seeing emerge as best practices are hand sanitizing stations at entry points into all types of buildings, as well as health questionnaires are new protocols for all staff and visitors before entering locations.
Yes, great points, Jim. Both high touch points and hand sanitizing stations are a big deal. We asked another one of our expert customers about their challenges in the K through 12 environment in those areas. Let's listen to what she has to say.
Hi, my name is Sabrina Bilski, and I work at Valders Area School District, and I'm the nutrition director for the school district. We have to sanitize high-touch surfaces much more often than maybe we were before. Typically, a food service department would do so after every class had come in through, and now you're doing it more thoroughly, more often, because of droplets and so forth that could be in the serving line. Biggest changes, we had to all summer long procure many different hand sanitizing stations for hallways, cafeteria, serving lines of cafeterias, multiple other locations throughout the whole school, many in the classroom. So that was difficult, getting them all installed in time before the opening of school. And still today, the challenge is making sure that the students are using them every day. Having lots of locations helps that, but they still have to be reminded, although some days it's like complete habit and other days you just have to remind them.
Eric, why don't you share a little bit with us about what other areas or procedures should be added into an infection protection and control strategy or facility food safety and environmental safety strategy? Some other thoughts from you on that.
Sure, Matt. First, a solid understanding of what is and what is not a food contact surface is really critical. Remember, any surface food will touch while in the process of creating that meal, as well as any surface an individual will touch while in the process of eating that meal is considered a food contact surface. These surfaces will need to be pre-cleaned, washed, and rinsed with fresh, clean water before applying an EPA-approved sanitizer and finally allowing to air dry for 1 to 2 minutes. Proper sanitizer concentration must be set and tested with QT40 test strips for all quaternary ammonium or quat-based sanitizers and disinfectants. These test strip results need to be logged regularly. This has been the norm in sanitizing for food service for many decades, but now we must also do the same for disinfectants on all commonly touched non-food contact surfaces as well. No disinfectants are created equal. Dilution ratios, concentrations will vary depending on the individual product label. It'll be more important than ever to read and understand the product label. Test that concentration regularly with QT1000 test strips for quaternary ammonium or quat-based disinfectants. test strips which match the stated concentration on the product label. And finally, log that information. Have it ready for the health inspectors when they arrive in the same manner as food service sanitizing documentation.
Eric pointed out a very critical difference between how food contact surfaces should be handled differently than non-food contact surfaces. Take a listen to this video for a reminder on that.
Business has reopened, and staff safety and customer confidence are vital. One important step in accomplishing this is a focus on sanitizing and disinfecting. Food contact surfaces should be sanitized, while non-food contact surfaces are disinfected. Sanitizing lowers the number of germs on surfaces or objects to a safe level, as judged by public health standards or requirements. Disinfecting kills germs identified on the product's label on hard, non-porous surfaces or objects. In the kitchen, key areas to sanitize include things like prep counters, cutting boards, and cooking utensils, while disinfectant should be used on the non-food contact surfaces like handles, paper towel dispensers, and light switches. When you're thinking about the dining room, use sanitizer for tabletops, chairs, and booths, while disinfectant should be used for things like handles, napkin dispensers, light switches, and floors. Are we seeing a pattern here? Food contact surfaces are sanitized. Non-food contact surfaces are disinfected. But let's not forget the restroom. In this critical area, use disinfectant for things like handles, towel dispensers, light switches, toilet seats, faucets, sinks, and countertops. Whether you're sanitizing or disinfecting, make sure all food and debris is removed prior to use. Leave a good impression by using disposable towels on dining room tables and chairs. Use test strips to make sure products are effective while cleaning, and make sure you're allowing the product to air dry. It's also important to make a schedule and keep to it. Your guests and staff will notice that you're taking the proper precautions to ensure that everyone's safety and enjoyment are a top priority.
These procedures that are becoming best practice for long-term care. We've got another video here from one of our customers that shares some thoughts of how this is becoming just a part of the process. Let's listen to Karen.
Our cleaning protocols won't necessarily change long-term related to the pandemic, but we have added some enhancements that we will take with us into the future. We're using electrostatic sprayers, which use negatively charged ions to help the sanitizing solution cling to and wrap around surfaces such as a handrail. This helps us to be more efficient with our processes, which is always important. The use of those electrostatic sprayers will continue to be part of our cleaning and sanitizing protocols. We have also begun using bipolar ionization systems to disinfect and kill airborne particles, and that's something we are using in common areas of our communities. Both of those new additions to our cleaning protocols since COVID will continue as we move past this time.
Those are some great insights from Karen. Let's talk a little bit about equipment. There are a lot of new technologies and companies with claims out there about easier or new methods for sanitizing and for disinfecting. How can we know what is effective or what is worth the expense? I'd love to hear from you guys a little bit on that subject.
I think Eric's comments earlier on understanding the difference between cleaning, sanitizing, and disinfecting is a starting point to evaluating how effective or practical a new product or method may be. The importance of clean cannot be overstated. The CDC COVID-19 guidelines training states sparkling surfaces prevent the spread of infection. The basic principles of food and environmental safety have not changed. The basic fact that if a surface is not clean, it cannot properly be sanitized or disinfected still holds true. The real threat comes from whatever vehicle harbors the pathogen, whether that is a foodborne illness from raw chicken or a virus passed directly from a person. If the pathogen is protected in enough soil, organic matter, or human-generated water droplets or mucus, it's tough to kill because the chemical simply cannot reach all of it. The products or practices that require no cleaning and make claims that defy common sense generally are not good choices. Always do some research before investing.
Right. And one of the most important points when selecting a sanitizer or a disinfectant is the EPA efficacy, or what we commonly call a kill claim. And unfortunately, this is where it can get a little complicated. As we said before, not all disinfectants are created equal. Product efficacy is essential, and efficacy really is what microorganisms are killed in what time frame per the EPA. Now, some disinfectants will kill specific microorganisms in maybe 1, 2, 3 minutes, all the way up to 10 minutes, and some not at all. Of course, we're all concerned about COVID-19, and there are many disinfectants that do, but in a wide variety of contact times. We must understand that we are concerned about many other microorganisms as well. For example, MRSA, Noro, and C. diff. Those organisms may have a different contact time to be killed. You have a disinfectant with maybe a 5-minute efficacy for COVID-19, but MRSA and Noro are killed for another 10 minutes. So it's great that you've actually killed COVID-19, but now we have a Noro outbreak. So we must be very, very careful. So regardless, it's important to leave that surface to air dry for the full 10 minutes for full broad spectrum efficacy, regardless of how quickly it kills one specific microorganism. If anyone would like a copy of the EPA Efficacy Report for any Array sanitizer or disinfectant, they can find it on the Array Chemical Support website.
Eric's points about understanding kill claims and efficacy cannot be understated. Here's a helpful video to remind ourselves of that. And remember, you can use this video with your staff to remind them.
The following will provide general procedures and methods for applying a disinfectant. The CDC states that cleaning and disinfecting will greatly reduce the spread of pathogens and help prevent cross-contamination. Be sure to use a disinfectant that has the appropriate kill claims for the pathogens you are targeting. It is very important to follow the label instructions for EPA-registered disinfectants. Not only is it the law to use the products according to the product label, it will keep you and others safe. For personal protective equipment requirements, refer to the product safety data sheet or product label. Even if the SDS does not require PPE, follow the recommendations on your standard operating procedures. It is also important to consider the type of soil and pathogens you could potentially be coming in contact with. EPA-registered disinfectants that are concentrates need to be mixed according to label directions. This will help ensure safety, efficacy, cleaning results, and reduce the risk of buildup or surface damage. Never mix any cleaning products with disinfectants. Also, be sure to label secondary containers accordingly. It is critical to focus disinfection on high-touch surfaces such as doorknobs, handles, push plates, water fountains, light switches, and desks. It is important to conduct these procedures during predetermined times throughout the day. Frequencies may increase during cold and flu season or during outbreaks. Prior to beginning, gather the appropriate products and tools required. Consult your SOP if there are any questions before starting. Before disinfection can be achieved, any visible, gross soil must be cleaned. Remember, cleaning is the removal of dirt. After pre-cleaning visible soil, apply the disinfectant to the surface. If using the spray and wipe method, be sure to spray the cloth and not the surface. Ready-to-use wipes are another option for applying a disinfectant. These wipes are simply removed from the container and ready to use. Make sure to get the surface wet enough so that it will remain wet for the proper contact time. Remember, if the surface dries before the needed contact time, it must be reapplied to achieve proper disinfection to the surface. Refer to the product label for the appropriate contact time of the product you are using. In summary, label instructions are extremely important and will help determine the proper use to keep you and others safe and healthy. Pre-cleaning visible soils is necessary prior to disinfecting a surface. Make sure the disinfectant remains wet on the surface for the required contact time. Some disinfectants may not be compatible with certain surfaces. It is important to check prior to use.
It sounds like there's a lot out there, and we could be overwhelmed by all this information. And I highlighted a little bit even about the products and the new wow things that are out there. What are some of the new products or the practices that you guys think would be worth considering to keep everything spotless, sparkling, and safe?
Well, I think some of the new, more efficient means of disinfecting are worth considering. Electrostatic sprayers, ultraviolet light methods for disinfecting, and some of the new products that may be safer to use with reduced kill contact times can be very valuable. A good example of one of the new practices is home-style washing machines in senior living. This is one area that has been somewhat overlooked until recently. Many newer assisted and independent living communities are primarily using home-style washing machines. These washers don't have the same protections in place to ensure contaminated sheets or personals are disinfected safely like the large commercial washing machines do. The new UV-based light systems treat the water before it goes into the machine to kill pathogens. A good best practice for all new products and technologies is to always investigate before you invest anything.
And quat-based disinfectants are always a great option based on their EPA efficacy and cost effectiveness. But one particular option has been very popular recently, and that is with accelerated hydrogen peroxide-based products. Now, accelerated hydrogen peroxide can be a registered disinfectant with the EPA and acts as an oxidizer. So this means that an oxidizer will change the pigment of a stain clear so you can no longer see it. And this works mainly on organic matter such as blood, milk, bio, and so on. This oxidation process is used in most color-safe bleach products and can be very effective cleaner, stain remover, disinfectant, as well as a deodorizer. Now, Gordon Food Service carries, for example, the SureGuard HP with a COVID-19 kill claim of 1 minute as well as 5 minutes.
Great descriptions on products and opportunities that I think are very practical in this area. I really liked what Jim shared about the testing and the working with others around you in these categories. How can we be sure that these expanded opportunities and this focus on products that do the work are being followed by staff, and that facilities are truly seeking this spotless, safe environment? What are some things that you guys would share in those categories?
Yes, Matt, there's actually many things we can do here. First, we want to make sure that we get a better understanding of what exactly the health inspectors are looking at and what they're looking for. I know it's tough working with them from time to time, but please understand they have a very important job to do, so we all need to work together. Be proactive. Call them, try to identify their key objectives. But it's important to remember that they live through these continuously changing rules as well. And they too don't know what to expect from one day to the next. And number two, while it's always easier to have one person in charge of implementing procedures, it's also important to have everyone in the facility, whether it's food service, environmental service, a restaurant, nursing home, or school district, to have a firm understanding of the protocols that are in place. This tends to hold more people accountable, and they make this more of a team effort, if you will. Now, you can always rely on your InnoServe specialist as well as your U.S. Chemical representative for ongoing training support. And finally, don't be afraid to reach out to a third-party audit company. Now, I know Relish Works, for example, has a Trust 20 certification program, providing operators with clean, practical guidance on 20 food service tactics, training support, audits your facility, and supports you with marketing materials to reassure diners that your facility puts people first. Their safety practices have been independently checked and verified so that you can dine confidently.
We're all concerned about declining long-term care community census counts or reduced student attendance days. What can we do to address these concerns and restore the community's confidence?
You know, I think there's pretty much universal agreement that getting public confidence levels restored is of the highest priority. It's also critical to everyone's long-term financial health. The key to this is finding effective ways to communicate everything that is being done to protect the safety and well-being of staff, students, or your residents.
Sabrina shared with us the value of communicating information on their website. Let's listen to what she has to say about that.
I do think it's beneficial for the families to know the expectations of their students when they're attending, knowing that they have to wear masks, knowing that they're going to have to hand sanitize when they leave the classroom or before they eat, and lots of different informational things like that on our website. And I think still now parents will use that resource.
That's a great testimony for the importance of clear communication tools from Sabrina. I'm glad she could share that with us. Karen also shared with us her thoughts about how it relates to communication to build confidence in consumers.
We feel it is extremely important to share our cleaning protocols with our residents and their family members. When COVID became a reality, people were scared. Being able to share what we're doing to ensure a clean and safe environment via blog posts, TV interviews, phone calls, direct messaging, really helped our residents and family give them some assurance. So that was crucial. Family members were unable to come into our communities to see their loved ones and to kind of see for themselves what we were doing. So communicating everything we were doing to maintain a safe environment was important.
Yeah, so as you heard from Karen, clear and concise communication is extremely important. Telling your story of all the efforts that you're doing to make sure that not only your food, but your environment is safe is highly important today. And another one of my customers, Ray, is going to talk about the importance of that and how important he feels the need is to restore public confidence and some of the things that they're going to be doing to accomplish that.
Hi, I'm Ray Dickerson, Chief Operating Officer of Christian Horizons. We're working to restore consumer confidence for those frail, elderly, and compromised people that need our care around the clock. We're doing that through a lot of ongoing communication, through numerous channels of our efforts, of our results, of the investments that we're making into quality programs. It's important to let folks know that we're investing in infection prevention resources and programs, training programs, and working with our partners like Warden Food Service to create new programs to meet elevated standards. We're certainly advocating for all those that can to get the COVID vaccination, which we know will increase confidence for those we serve and those that care about them. And we're updating our approaches to cleaning, chemicals, processes, and procedures to help us meet those new expectations. Yes, we have employed newer techniques to accomplish our goals for cleaning standards and consumer confidence. In addition to the traditional cleaning procedures that we've had in place, we've also invested into electrostatic cleaning processes, as well as air purification systems to help us make sure that our tight quarters and closed spaces are as clean as they possibly can be. I think it's very important to tell our consumers about our cleaning processes and procedures. Now more than ever, we need to give them confidence. We need to help people understand of all the extra infection prevention efforts, investments, and approaches that we have employed to deal with COVID-19 and what that brings for the future. In our particular experience, our ministry takes care of frail elderly people in close quarters. And those conditions require us to do all that we can and explore new ways and tell people about it so they have the confidence they need. Here at Christian Horizons, we're informing our consumers of our strong regulatory compliance with infection control procedures. That's important because that shows consistency and it shows ongoing commitment to what we're doing. But in light of the new expectations, we're creating the Confident Clean branded program. We're doing that with GFS as a partner, as well as our Procure Advantage vendor partners. In that program, we're going to be intentional about talking to people about how we train our associates, the types of methods and products that we use, as well as some of the new interventions that were mentioned earlier. It's important for people to understand when they make this important decision of deciding upon someone to care for someone they love, that they have as much confidence as much information, and really as much transparency as they can get. And we think a program like that, and what that program means with training and using consistent chemicals and using processes that are standard and are proven, that will give consumers more confidence. It will give our associates more confidence, and it will help us move forward from the pandemic. Because the Confident Clean program will be so important to our consumers, we're going to share that through all of our normal channels, through our printed materials, through our website, through our social media, certainly in our associate communication platforms. And we look forward to giving it the confidence that it needs to give everyone. With this initiative, it's been very helpful for us to work with Gordon Food Service and Procure Advantage vendor partners and experts. They've brought great resources, great ideas, and ways to help us operationalize this important program.
Thank you, Jim, for sharing that about how you and Ray are working together. I really appreciate that opportunity to look at how InnoServe and customers can work in tandem with these opportunities. We can all agree that effectively sharing what you're doing through several communication conduits is critically important now and moving forward. It's good to think about ways that we can communicate the hard work and the increased focus that's out there on spotless, sparkling, and safe. We brought one more expert to the table to share some thoughts on the benefits of marketing safety and cleanliness.
Hello, I am Rihanna Baker, registered dietitian, business solutions specialist for Gordon Food Service in our central region, joining you today from Kentucky. So safety has always been important and even harder in today's environment to make everyone feel safe. Students, residents, patients, employees, whomever your consumer is, need to know that your priority is to create a safe environment and make sure it works in your brand and your culture. Jim and Eric and a few of our customers shared some really great insights on how you can keep everyone safe. Show you care and that you're listening to what your customers say. Share your practices with your customers. Let them know you care by telling them your plan to keep them safe. This is a great opportunity to build true brand and awareness, cultural awareness, to let your audience know your personality behind your brand, so they can see what makes you different from your competitors. Demonstrate for them your culture for cleaning, sanitizing, disinfecting, and that you're the best in the industry. Marketing safety and cleanliness will create loyalty with consumers and employees, build trust, and demonstrate your brand as caring for staff and consumers. So how can we do that? We recommend focusing on 3 strategies. Be a credible source of best practice information. Showcase your expertise. Spotlight your skills and experts. Show confidence in your knowledge, and you'll be seen as an industry expert in how you clean. So live up to that commitment. Use realistic and attainable goals that you can live up to. Be sure to gain senior management level commitment and employee involvement and engagement throughout the organization. And last but not least, communicate it. Keep metrics visible. Use multiple channels to communicate: social media, website, signs on site, newsletters, and marketing materials. So strengthen your message, and then people will trust your brand and your culture, so they will share that with others.
Those are some great points from Rayona. Great to hear from another Gordon Food Service resource, our business solutions specialist in the Central States Division that's there to help. There is a real benefit we've seen from telling your story of your commitment to spotless, sparkling, and safe. This is important, and it's great that we've seen some things today, heard from some experts, heard from some peers in these areas, and hopefully things that are going to be helpful for you. I want to highlight here at the end that the resources like Rayona, like Jim Fields, the business development specialist for InnoServe, like Eric Losi, a representative from our strategic partner at US Chemical. These folks are available in every corner of Gordon Food Service, and they're available to help you in this mission for spotless, sparkling, and safe. Also, we're going to share the websites for InnoServe, the website that Eric alluded to earlier for Array. It gives you a great guide on the products that are available in these categories and address the things that we talked about today.
So now that we've navigated to the site, you'll notice that we update the main page with updated information on whether it's new products, videos, or procedures. Recently, we've added to this a how-to sheet on how to add this website to a smartphone, whether that be an Apple device or a Samsung. So you can download that information and have your employees use this information on their smartphones as well. So there's a couple of different areas we can go to on this website, and it is pretty in-depth. The first area would be to find your product solution. If you were going to go ahead and click on that, we spent a lot of time today discussing sanitizers and disinfectants. So when we're selecting a product, we have in this area food service, housekeeping or environmental service, and then also laundry. So if you went and clicked on housekeeping, and all the different subcategories or areas of housekeeping are listed here. You can go up to the upper left-hand side and click disinfectants. And this is where it's really becoming important to our previous training when we talked about not only SDS documents, but also efficacy reports from the EPA. So as we scroll down, of course, we have very important COVID-19 outbreak updates, as well as products and literature. But as you scroll down, you will notice all of the disinfectants that are carried by Gordon Food Service. Not only that, but you'll have the tech sheets, the SDS documents, and all EPA documentation that you'll need for your facility, and also for the health inspector as well. So if anyone is curious what an EPA efficacy report looks like, you can click on that thumbnail and the efficacy report will pop up. So this is what an EPA efficacy report will look like, and it will list out all of the different microorganisms that would be either with viruses, bacteria, or fungi. So we can go back to our original site, and you can see that we actually have quite a few different disinfectants here for you. So scrolling back up to the top, you can always use this back button here to take you back to a different page. And we're going to scroll back out. So all three areas, food service, environmental service, as well as laundry, operate in the same way. So if you're looking for a 3-compartment sink sanitizer, we're going to go into food service. Then we select dish room. Then we can choose 3-compartment sinks. From here, you have your choice between a pot and pan detergent. And then, of course, you have sanitizers, both pot and pan, and surface sanitizers. Click on that. It'll always give you new and interesting, very usable information. Here we have videos on how to select the proper sanitizer. This is a video on knowing your test strips, not only what test strips to use, but how to use them, including wall charts and other logging documentation that when you do test with your QT40 test strips for quaternary ammonium or quat, you can log that information and hold it for the health inspector. There's quite a few booklets. This one happens to be on the differences between sanitizers and disinfectants. And again, as we scroll down, we will see all of the Array 3-compartment sink and surface sanitizer options, including, again, the tech sheet, SDS document, EPA reference documents, or any extended label information. So that is the, how to find your product solution, if you will. So we can scroll back up to the top. So the next area we're going to investigate is the product matching library. So when we click on this, you will see numerous other manufacturers and distributors listed here. Alco, Allegheny Supply, Ecolab. If you have one of those products and you want a resource to match that with the proper Array item, you would use this Array product matching library to resource that information. Our next area is green cleaning options. This lists out all of the different green or earth-friendly products that are carried through Gordon Food Service. The next area is called What Would I Use to Clean? And as Jim has been doing this for 3 decades, and I'm a little over 23 years, we get asked a lot of interesting questions. And after a while, I started writing them down. And we've got a pretty good list of, what would I use to clean? For example, brick flooring, adhesive glue, organic stains on carpeting, What this will do is list them out alphabetically and then give you some sort of an imagery if we can, and then we'll recommend an array item, the case count, and the item code that we would recommend to have you use to get that either surface or the actual stain clean itself. We have another area of special order products, but I really want to focus on these product videos, and this is where you can use this area for ongoing training and even onboarding for new employees as well. So as you scroll down, we have this organized between kitchen cleaning videos, dish room, proper dish racking, how to properly de-lime your dish machine, 3 compartment sink procedures, some restroom procedures, and then on into environmental service as well as laundry. One key point behind these videos is they're all within 1 to 1.5 minutes, and they're non-verbal, so they're set to music, so we actually can really utilize these in facilities that speak very little English. We demonstrate by doing, not necessarily just by speaking. So we always follow that template. Okay. Scrolling down to some of the final few tabs on this website, we have what is called the U.S. Chemical Training Books. If you have either yourself or any employee that really wants to get into the meat and potatoes of what this industry really is on the cleaning and sanitation side, we have a lot of pamphlets, booklets, and manuals on this, including Preparing for the Health Inspector. Food service industry germ warfare is actually one of my favorites. Healthcare industry germ warfare. Laundry formulations in laundry rooms, so on and so forth. These are great books, usually about 9 to 15 pages long, and are really a great resource. As you scroll down, we can identify the different U.S. chemical representatives that are all in the GFS footprint. There is our Regional Vice President, Mr. John Jalisco, and his entire team. So we have one individual, one distribution manager from U.S. Chemical in every division of Gordon Food Service. So whether you're down in Florida, you're out in the New England area, maybe Texas, Central States, we have someone there to help support not only you, Gordon Food Service, as well as InnoServe. Your local InnoServe representative has access to the Array Chemical Support website and can walk you through the intricate details and options through the website.
Thank you so much for your time today. As you take a look at all the different links that you can check out, please take some time to check out the InnoServe website. It's all of our InnoServe cleaning and beverage services. It's an extremely interesting site. So here we are at InnoServe.com. As you can see, our tagline is Innovative Cleaning and Beverage Services. The way we came up with InnoServe is it's really a combination of innovation and service. For many years, we've been your trusted expert in environmental cleanliness and safety. We've brought you beverage equipment, products, and services. We feel like we are on the cutting edge of innovation, and we pride ourselves on giving excellent service. So it's a natural combination of the two words, InnoServe. So the services we have available as you look through the website are housekeeping. We have various housekeeping products for keeping things clean and sanitary and disinfected. We have entire warewash programs where we carry all products for warewashing that will fit any type of dish machine out there. We also provide dish machines both on a sale purchase and a lease purchase and a revolving lease program. We have beverage equipment. We have a very strong line of our own coffee product that's called Mosaic. We also offer training, both on-site training, classroom training, and everything in between. We do regular preventive maintenance on all the equipment that we provide for customers. And we have a 24/7 service commitment to our customers and a 800 hotline that our customers can call at any time. We have customers that go across all types of businesses in this industry. We serve restaurants, we serve healthcare, we serve multi-unit chains, colleges and universities. We also do daycares and caterers, and really anyone who has a food service operation we can work with within this industry. So as you see from looking at that website, We not only have products available through InnoServe, but we also have training, equipment maintenance, and all the necessary equipment that you need to be successful. So please take time to check it out, and I think you'll be impressed with what you find.
Thanks for listening and spending this hour with us during this seminar. Come see us at the InnoServe booth at the show, where you can talk to our experts. Eric, Jim, and others will be there to answer any questions that you may have. Before we close, we also want to let you know that this seminar qualifies for continuing education credits as applied through the Nursing Administration Board, the Association of Nutrition and Food Professionals, the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, the American Culinary Federation, and the School Nutrition Association. Please visit the It's Your Business booth to fill out a seminar evaluation form and get your continuing education credit. If you're watching at a different time, there'll be a link included here that you can get the evaluation form near the seminar link. Thank you one more time for your time, and thank you for keeping your focus on keeping your organization spotless, sparkling, and safe.